So maybe you can put coffee in an oven, actually.
Yeah.
I don't think...
Yeah.
You're not going for it, I don't think. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Today I'm with a guest that I actually recently threw a show with, and I've been a fan of them for a while, and it's kind of funny because with the shows I've been doing with Homegrown in the Basement, Carter Costello, we've kind of done a thing where it's more of a community-based thing where like I've had to have had them on the show, or Carter's had to have met them somewhere, and neither of us had actually met this guest until recently. And we, all three of us, automatically clicked. We've been to the bar together now. Carter's sober, so not Carter. But I've had a great time getting to know them, and it's I'm excited to learn more about their background, and for you guys to learn about their background. It's my pleasure to introduce Claudine Magbag.
Hello, everybody.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure getting to know you too.
Yes, thank you.
Also, just like hanging out and everything. That's my favorite part about this artist shit is just like all the different faces that, that it brings into my life. So, yeah. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, you
Okay.
fucking can't.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, it's
Okay.
I've literally like... Yeah, I showed you that email like when I originally found out about. I found out about you like right before COVID, so I've known who you are for like 3.5 years.
I didn't even know who I was before COVID.
But yeah, I wanted to tell people about the story where I feel. Do you remember meeting me at Freak Out Fest, or is that like a figment of my imagination?
I don't think we met at Freak Out. I don't.
You sure? But you did the Cafe Umbria thing or something.
Okay.
Did you perform at Cafe Umbria?
Yes, I did. But when were you there?
I think right before you. Like, did you perform after Nobi or before Nobi?
Yes.
So we did meet,
Okay,
I think.
probably briefly then.
But somehow or another, I thought you gave me your number.
Okay.
And this is for the audience. I think I've told you this story now, but I thought I gave you my number, and me and Carter were like, we want to have you on the show. So I set up this. It's funny because it happened to be like a phone call interview instead of like a in person, the guy comes to the house type thing.
Yeah.
But we wanted to set up a phone call with you to be like, would you be interested in coming on the show?
Yeah. So when was this? I'm curious.
This literally was whenever we reached out to you, it was like the night. I mean, earlier that day, I had a phone call and I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to shoot in the dark. Because I emailed you at like 9 p.m. It was like random. And I try to do emails in the morning.
Yeah, me too. But I'm like, whatever happens.
But
happens.
we called this random guy, and it happened to not be you. And the guy was still excited to like be on the show.
Oh,
so we never had exchanged names via text. I was just like, hey, it was nice meeting you the other night. Would you like to come do this show?
Yeah.
And they said yes. And when he picked up the phone, it was his name was like or something.
Okay.
So I was like, maybe you never gave me your number, but I don't know how I would randomly save Claudine Magbag in my phone.
Were you a little litty that night?
No,
oh, okay.
I try not to get lit during shows.
Okay.
Which is kind of counterintuitive. I feel like a lot of artists would.
Yeah.
I feel like I lose in the like the most like calm way possible.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't want to like drink and like lose any type of control, even if it's like a slip, because then I'll like hold on to being like, fuck,
that's something I'm trying to be better
one
about.
beer and then I forgot to press play or something. But so your real name though is Claudine Magbag. Is that so? That's why I'm like, I have no idea how I could have randomly put Claudine Magbag in my phone.
I mean, I don't know, I don't remember meeting you that night, and I'm just gonna.
Were you sauce?
I don't think I was.
Dun, dun, dun.
No, but I was very in my own world because so we'd booked the show and they didn't know that I was performing with a band, and we were having a lot of technical difficulties, specifically with this thing that I like to use, like, for real time like vocal processing and stuff, and they couldn't get it to work, and we were there for like a hot minute, so I was kind of just like in my own world trying to figure that out. But yeah, I do remember seeing a few people that night, but I don't remember meeting you.
No.
So.
Damn, I was Nobi's DJ for that too, but it's okay.
Okay.
It's fine. We met finally, and we're here, and we're live. That's all that matters.
Okay.
But I would like to like start with, besides that silliness, I would like to start by like talking about your background.
Okay.
Because I grew up on the east side, but then in like 2019 I moved to Snohomish. So then I became like a North End person.
Yeah, good old Yeehaw Town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from my understanding, you grew up north as well. And it's weird because I can't tell sometimes if Snohomish is more north than other like northern cities.
I think it starts to get like a little east, like north, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
still north.
Working with like artists in Everett or in Marysville or in the up north is kind of be difficult to choose because sometimes you don't know if some of these artists are doing it for the right reasons or whatever. So when I meet someone like you who's from up north, it kind of inspires me to want to work with like up north artists.
To be fair, I don't live there anymore, so it's a little different, I would say.
That's true. Do you like feel like when you moved to Seattle you became like a Seattleite, or do you hold on to that North End at all?
Yeah, no, the North End is in the rear view mirror. I would love to erase that place from my brain.
Oh God.
Yeah, I definitely would say like I leaned more into the Seattleite kind of thing. I really like the culture out here compared to the North End. The style, the people, the coffee. I don't know. Yeah, the coffee's pretty good. When I go like up north to see my folks and stuff, I'm like, I can't get coffee out there. I gotta get coffee here before I don't know.
They got bikini baristas though. That's
yeah, no, I used to drive by like all those places, like those are everywhere.
Up north 100%.
I've never been to one though, so
I've been once and it was awkward.
Yeah.
I feel
coffee
like
good at least though?
No.
Yeah.
And the thing was I didn't like I went with my friends and I didn't want to feel like I was objectifying someone. So I was like looking at the cash register the entire time. And then my friends were like, you're paying to like see these people in like these type of clothes. And because the coffee was like, I was like, I'll just get a drip coffee. That was the first thing that came to my head.
Yeah.
It was something like $7 for like this big, a tall Starbucks version of a drip coffee. And I was like, fuck. Should I have looked? I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Anyone that, no offense to anyone who does it, but anyone that regularly goes to a bikini barista, kind of sketch in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree.
So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to be like, you need to go.
Okay. I could add it to the list of boxes I need to check.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
I probably won't.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay.
But unless I don't know, $7 for drip coffee. I don't know, man.
I mean, even like, that $3.45 for some drip, it's a little bit of a reach for me.
Yeah.
But when you can make it at your crib.
I like to go to get my car serviced and get that like Pennzoil or whatever.
The shitty coffee they have in the break
Yeah,
room.
For free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
With the popcorn machine.
Yes, that's what I need.
Yeah.
Like I can drink coffee that's like 3 days old and I'll just put it in the microwave. I'm not
in the microwave?
I'm not a huge coffee snob, but I like coffee. Yeah.
Because it changes the chemical like composition. You've heard, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's why it tastes completely different.
Should he put it in the oven then? I don't know.
In the oven?
I don't know.
Like on the stovetop, you mean?
Or in the oven? I have no idea how different.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know how different. I guess that's outing myself. I don't know how different heat really, like why there's so many different heats in the house, right?
Yeah.
There's literally the microwave, there's the stove, there's the oven, if you have a toaster, if there's a toaster oven, like, but they all supposedly cook your food differently. So maybe you can put coffee in an oven actually.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah.
You're not going for it, I don't think. No.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind trying it. That actually sounds very interesting.
Yeah. I think I might have to do that later.
Yeah.
Now. But anyways, back on point. We have to go, I don't know, I'm going to say 50 minutes outside of Seattle to the north.
Yes.
I'm
getting chills.
Dun, dun, dun. So what was like school like?
Oof.
When did you get involved with music?
Yeah. School was tough because I grew up Catholic.
Oh.
My parents are very religious. So yeah, I was like a church kid. I went to Catholic school for like 12 years of my life, Jesus, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, all that.
Amen.
Meet the weird priest who like gives you like bread and like, like wine and like you're sitting in church pews and all that. So that was really weird.
Wait, what type of Catholic though? Like the the version where they, because I went to Catholic church once, where they did they talked in the different language. What is that?
Oh, like tongues?
Yeah. Like,
Yes.
do you go to that type of Catholic church? Or
I don't think that's not a part of Catholicism. I don't think.
what?
But
my friends are what? It's not.
I mean, we would all like sing together, like some really just like old ass like Jesus songs.
But there's like two types of Catholic churches. There's like.
Well, that's just like Christian, like the people that speak in tongues and stuff.
Oh, that's
so. There's Christianity as a whole, and then there are like subdivisions of like the different kinds of religion within Christianity.
Right.
I don't know what the fuck that is, but it's not Catholicism.
It's not.
But I have been to those kinds of churches because my parents are, they're Filipino, so they're religious. And, my mom was just like, in the dating pool of churches and stuff, just because like, not, sometimes you just want change or whatever. And so I've been to a few different churches, the ones where people speak like tongues and stuff. I've been there, but that's not what I grew up.
Oh, not tongues. It's not tongues. What it's just another. I swear to God, I've been to a Catholic Latin. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's not. Are you saying that's the tongues?
No.
But there's Latin Catholic or whatever.
Yeah, like there's Latin in Catholicism.
But there's like two churches. Like you can go to one where they do the Latin, and there's another one where they don't do the Latin.
Something like that.
Because I went to the Latin one and I was like, what the fuck is going on?
I think
here?
that they're just different kinds of like masses that they have. It's
Got
called
it.
Mass.
Yes.
Which is the service is called Mass. And then they have like different languages. Sometimes they have like Spanish and then just like English and then other like languages. Sometimes they have Latin services.
Yeah, I went to a Latin one and it was creepy. But what's this? Okay, then what's this fucking tongue shit? Shit.
Is
this like Satan
bro,
thing or something?
It's weird. It's like, have you ever seen like those TV shows, where, they have the church service in there and like, like in the scene, like people are just like speaking like gibberish. People are like passing out in the room.
Yeah,
They're like crying and like screaming. That's like what, like when people speak in tongues is or whatever. And I've been there. It was very weird.
Creepy.
I also wish I could erase that from my brain. Okay. I'm kind of scared that I said that, but like it was not.
We can bleep anything you don't want.
Okay. I mean, disclaimer, like, if that's you, do your thing.
Yeah,
but
do your thing, 21.
For me, 21, could you do that? For me, like, that was a really traumatic experience. Just because, like, I have a really bad relationship with religion. Like, I'm a brown lesbian and like I didn't go to college, so those are all the things that my mom was like, what the fuck? Like, like yeah, there were some things that I guess those are some things that parents aren't cool with.
Yeah.
And so my memory of that is like going there and like this random like priest like coming up and like my mom was telling him like I was like lost or whatever. And then you have all these people like, and I'm like, I'm fine, I'm chilling, like,
Damn. You're trying to pray the great gay away.
She was, and I was like, it was just like weird because like this like white man is like telling me that there's like so much wrong with me and that like that I'm like lost or whatever. And then you have like all these strangers like just like being like really really like emotional and just like out of pocket, and I'm like I don't even know what's going on. Like my mom wanted me to be there for her, so I was like, yeah, cool, I'll catch a ride with you guys. Don't do that. Don't catch a ride with your parents.
Sheesh.
Yeah, so.
Wait, so 12 years, that means that's like kindergarten through high school?
Yeah. Yeah, and then the tail end of that, I was kind of just like, I can't do this anymore. And at the end of my like sophomore year, I was like, hi, I would like to just like not go to school here anymore. And the office lady like looked at me and she was like, she seemed mad. And I was like, you just work here. It's my life, And my mom, what's it called? I don't know. It was weird. And it was like my mom was paying so much for tuition. We weren't wealthy or anything. And the crazy part about like those schools is like, they're dominantly like wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody like me that goes to those schools is kind of just like, it's, I don't know, it's like kind of for the look. Like they don't
I get it.
really care. And I'm like, I wasn't like a D1 bound athlete or anything because my parents didn't have money to spend on all that stuff. So it's not like I was really adding to what that wasn't. It was such a small, tight-knit community of people who all had the same amounts of money. And anyways.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I lost track.
So what did they like? What was your parents' purpose of like putting you in that school? Like, did they want you to be like a? They just wanted you to have religion in your life, or did they want you to be like a pastor or something?
No, I think it was just like the thing about those kind of schools, like the religious ones, they're also just like the education is much better.
Right.
So my parents were initially like very religious, but as time went on, they're not religious anymore, or they are religious, but not as much. But my parents like really wanted me to go to college. My dad never finished school. My mom did in the Philippines, but like she kind of projects this thing onto me because it's like something about not having education in America. And when you get here, even though like you have a degree from like the Philippines or whatever, and it seems like it doesn't really mean anything to employers and stuff. So when my parents immigrated over here in the 90s and they had me, like, they just really wanted to make sure that I had a good education. And the education was good. I was kind of like in a shock when I had transferred schools to public education.
I bet. Jeez.
Yeah. And I had a much better time just like, meeting like all these different kinds of people and stuff. But just the absolute like lack of structure and everything. Like I was not showing up my senior year. I like failed like a few classes. And like basically there was like this one class that I had that I didn't do shit for. And some like that was like one of the ones that you needed to graduate. And I like basically like almost didn't graduate.
Oh man.
Yeah. Just high school.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's weird because I don't know. I didn't go to college either, and I guess us not going to college, we're gonna be like high school and college doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I genuinely don't feel like I feel like for me at least I put so much pressure on myself in high school, and now I'm like, why does anyone care?
Yeah.
I guess if I want my doctors to have done really well in high school and college.
I mean, I honestly don't think I would care if my doctor did well in high school, but college probably I don't know.
So I don't know. School's always been a weird thing for me. I could never go back to school.
Yeah.
Which sucks. I hate school.
Yeah. There's definitely something wrong with the way that it's set up. I feel like it's really set up in a specific way to serve a specific kind of person. And especially like if you have all these other factors, like you don't have the funding or whatever. It's like a lot of people have families that are able to pay for school. My family didn't have that, and that's kind of one of the biggest reasons. Like
you don't want student debt. Yeah, fuck that.
And I had zero clue what I wanted to do, so it's like, why would I sign up for that? Like,
I agree.
A lot of people go back later, anyways.
Yeah,
and like,
you still can. So are you like friends with people that you went to Catholic school with, or do you completely just cut out that entire community and shit out of your life?
Yeah, I don't think. No, yeah, there's none of that. I mean, I had like neighbors as a kid, and like we were all Filipino. Like we had this like Filipino ass like cul-de-sac, and we were all just kicking it, and they would all have like prayer circles, but the food was good.
Hell yeah,
at the crib. So I have like neighbors that I grew up with as a kid that I'm still kind of very lightly in touch with. But yeah, I've kind of just left that in the rear view.
I see.
Yeah.
So then you're in high school, and then how do you get involved in music in high school?
Sort of.
And does that have any church influence whatsoever or no?
So I was an introvert. Like I guess I really struggled in those kinds of communities because like nobody looked like me. Everybody was white. I was also a kid and I knew I was gay. Like, and I'm surrounded by like all these like Christian like kids, and like I feel like everybody knew that like there was a little something about me. Like, also, okay, actually, hold on, let me recenter where this is. Yeah. So I was very like lonely as a kid because nobody looked like me. A lot of people like love Jesus, and I did not because like I was a kid, and like the whole thing with that is like if you're gay, you can't love Jesus. Yeah. Like so that was kind of problematic, and I was like deep down, like even as a kid, like I think like when I was as young as like 6 years old, I kind of just like I knew. So it was kind of hard to be like friends with people when you're like that, and I was also just like a little more tomboyish. So anyways, I spent a lot of time in isolation, and in those communities, like there's not a lot of room for creativity. It's very like cookie cutter, like sports, like, or STEM, or like whatever. And I didn't align with any of that. So I spent a lot of time just like in my room, just making music and being like emo and like sad and just playing stupid songs like on this Costco keyboard that my mom had got me as a kid. I think it's still on YouTube. It's hidden. It's called like 7 Billion. God. And I can't believe I can't believe that I shared that with people. It was just like so sad. Just so sad. Like you knew there was something wrong with me.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I mean, there weren't really like a lot.
We'll put the link in the bio.
Oh God. Yeah. If I ever feel sad, I go back and I refer to where I was at, and I'm like, if I'm ever upset with where I'm at in my career at this moment in time, I'm like, well,
damn. So it was a really rough time.
Yeah, I think so. But I did have this one neighbor, like I said. She kind of showed me like GarageBand, and we would just make like really, really silly like YouTube videos and stuff.
Yeah.
So she taught me how to do all of that, but she was kind of a little bit older than me. So like she went off to college while I was like in high school. So like when high school came around, like I spent a lot of time alone because she was gone. And yeah, I think that's like as far as the most amount of community that I had for music. And then in high school, I submitted some stuff to Mopop for
How'd you hear about that?
Crazy. So, I had this Toyota Celica from 1999.
You had a Celica?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep. And it's still in my parents' driveway. I fucking love that thing.
Oh my God.
But
That's
it's
like
dead.
my favorite car.
Really?
Fuck.
Yeah. I want to put it in a video, but it doesn't run. So I'm like, how that gonna work?
My friend Joe's a mechanic. He's been on the show.
Really?
Maybe he can help.
Okay. You get it up and running? Like, that would be so cool.
Damn.
If we could put it in a video.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, I had this Toyota Celica from 1999. It was my junior year in high school, and like one of my friends, they were out at Mopop, and they went to go visit, and they were like, "You should pull up," and I was like, "Okay, cool," and I'm like, I don't even really like, we weren't even really close friends. But I think they knew that I smoked weed at the time. So
you were smoking weed in high school?
Yeah,
dun,
bro.
dun, dun.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Yeah, I was smoking weed at the time.
The devil's lettuce.
The devil's lettuce. And yeah, we weren't even that close, but I think they just wanted my weed.
Yeah.
So yeah, we went to go kick it at Mopop, and I saw the flyer for Sound Off in the elevator, and I was like, "What's this?" And I sent them my stuff, and I got a call back from Robert, who was working for them at the time.
Robert De Niro? Lang?
No. I could check my email and see, but
Hey, Robert.
I don't think Robert works for Mopop anymore. This was a long time ago.
He got fired?
No, I think he's just like, ready for new stuff, a new chapter. Nobody ever stays in Seattle, you know?
Fair enough.
But yeah, I got a call from him, and he was like, "Yeah, you want to do it? Like, it's a 30-minute set or whatever." And I was like, "Whoa,
Jesus Christ!"
Like the most that I had ever done, like, it was like I played like a song, like at a stupid talent show, in like an old like crusty building in Marysville that was like falling apart, and like you had like someone named Tammy like putting the program together. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. And I know nothing about sound. I don't have a band or like anything. I just like sent them like some really sad songs from my bedroom, and they're like, "Hey, you want to do this?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then I did that. That was the first show that I'd ever played in Seattle.
What the heck?
And it was a mess. Everybody knew I was fucking nervous. It was just me, and I had, yeah, you live and you learn.
But you won.
Huh?
But you won.
No, I didn't. No, I did not. No, I was like immediately eliminated because I was just a fucking like nervous like wreck or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
And part of me was like, damn, I wish like, what's it called? I was more prepared. Like I wish I had like waited because what's it called?
Who won that year?
I don't remember.
Do you remember anyone who was on the lineup?
I think there was like also like this indie. like strawberry something. This was so long ago. This was like 2017. That's like almost like 6 years ago.
Yeah. Because what year was like Travis and Paris Alexa?
Oh, that was like a few years before me.
Really?
Yeah, a couple of years.
Wow.
But I had there were a couple of folks from Portland that had came up to do it. I remember Maya Wynn and Dreadlight.
I feel like we haven't talked about Sound Off recently. Can you break down quickly what Sound Off is?
Yeah. Excuse me. Burp. It is kind of like a battle of the bands.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
Perfect.
For artists under 21.
Cool.
Yeah, and that's for the whole Pacific Northwest. And then it's a competition, so like, you either get like free gear or you get like a slot. At the time when Bumbershoot was around, like Bumbershoot was the slot. Or like you got to play like Northwest like Folk Life, or you got like a KXP like in studio or something. All very cool stuff.
And you didn't get any of that from your performance?
No, because I was not ready. I was like, and that's the beauty of that, is like I feel like I'm at a point in my life as an artist, is like you start to see a bunch of people that are also doing this, that are like, oh, like I want to be doing this, like I want to be doing that, like I should have this like already done. But sometimes like you're just not ready to do that. And I was nowhere near ready. So I'm kind of glad that it didn't end up being like that, because I was not ready. And
how old were you when you did it?
17.
Did you go back and do it again or no?
No.
No?
No.
Too traumatic or?
No, like I just didn't see any point, because a few years down the road I'd end up getting like a manager and everything, and I was getting regularly booked for stuff, and
got it.
I was getting like studio sessions in and everything. And also, what's it called? I had taken like a little bit of a hiatus from music, because it was in like a 4-year relationship that kind of just like swallowed me. So I put out my first project in 3 years last April, and the reason that like I wasn't making music for that long was just like because I was so swallowed by,
in a bad way.
Very isolated.
Because during COVID, I'm guessing.
Yeah, during COVID.
Damn.
So there was a lot of like codependency and isolation and toxicity.
Damn.
And just like not a lot of time for me to work on music and everything. Those were just like really anxious. Like I didn't have the social skills to be in the studio like that and like write. And that's a weird point to look back on. Yeah.
So you get through this battle of the bands. It's a mess. Everyone hates you. Thinks you're stupid. I'm just kidding. No. So you get through that, and then what happens next? So you're 17. That's your senior year, I'm guessing. Like, are you about to graduate, or what's the? Or is that your junior year?
I think it was my junior year.
Got it. And then you continue doing music, or did that like kind of did that make you want to stop music for a little bit?
What's it called? I continued doing music, so I didn't have a project out. And the year after that, I did the residency.
Okay, then how'd you get involved with the residency?
How'd I get involved? What's it called? I think it was through Mopop, just like seeing, like, because I had followed them and like just seeing like all these active things that they were doing, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like, and I just, as a kid, like a North End kid, like I loved being in Seattle, like, because you're just like so cooped up, or I was just so cooped up over there. Like it's all the same, like looking old, scary, racist people.
Yeah.
No offense, some offense. And like I would do anything to just be out there and like be in a room full of people that looked like me, because I did not get that like for the 12 for like the years and years that like I lived out there. So yeah, I would take like this bus from Marysville all the way to downtown.
Was it like an hour and a half?
It was like almost like 2 hours.
I bet.
And I would just like sit there and I'd be like, this yeah, we vibe. Like, because it's the double decker shit. And I'm like, oh, I can see you in your car. And I'm like, I'm going to Mopop and like we're making music and like they're feeding us and shit. And I'm like, this is sick.
Hell
like,
yeah.
And just being like a kid. And I think that was like the first time I'd ever felt like safe in like a learning environment. because my teachers were people of color, and I never really got that, and they weren't like religious or like trying to like impose like some whack ass shit on me. Like, yeah. So I spent the summer of 2018 doing that, and then.
Who was in your? Do you know anyone in your class for that?
My friend Talea, Brandon, Gritty. Do you know Gritty?
Yeah, Gritty's been on the show.
Yeah, Gritty's cool. And everybody, like, they're lifelong friends that I have made. Like, those are my lifelong friends. Like, fuck the Catholic kids.
Hell yeah.
Shit. Yeah. And so Amir, I think one of the program directors, in Secord was running it at for the last time when I did it. They had come up with some sort of way to get us free studio time. And they got me free studio time at Ruby Room
after graduating the residency. Cool.
Yeah, on Aurora.
Yeah.
And Elon and I made a project called Lost, which was just like all about growing up and being fucking lost, which is just like a common theme. I feel like for me.
Yeah. For a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that's why people connect with you.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Like, yeah. And so I made that project, and that was the first project that I had put out when I was 19. It was 2019, and then I took a break because I got swallowed.
Did you do press during any of that time, or did you just like put it out and
I think I just put it out and was like,
damn.
Yeah, and it didn't get very much, and I'm like, yeah, because like I just didn't have the social skills or just like the skills as an artist to figure out how to like promote and like just push it out and like be like, hey, I make this, because I had a lot of trauma around being like a creative kid. Like, nobody wanted to hear about that kind of stuff growing up. My mom sure as hell didn't want me doing that shit. Actually, it was a really bad time because like my mom and I were like, she was not having it. Like, the residency had also gotten me like a scholarship to learn music, like at Shoreline. And like I was going to school. I did like a little youth program at KEXP. I was working.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it was cool, but my mom was not fucking with it. Like,
damn. At
all. Like, she was so mad that I wasn't like in college or whatever. So that fucked me up pretty hard because like we were just constantly fighting, and like I was like working on this thing that I was like excited about and like kind of proud of, but like because I was going through that, like, with my mom and just growing up in that kind of, I guess, what's it called? Just growing up in that kind of environment, like I didn't know like how to tell people that like this is what I like to do.
Right.
So that's why I just like posted it and was like, this is the thing that I've made. And but people liked it, like at least in the Seattle scene. I got to open for Paris Alexa because of that when I put that out. And then I just kind of just put me on the scene, I guess, like a little bit out here.
And then you like got in a relationship, and then it was just downhill. And then
yeah, kind of. It was good for a hot minute. You know how it always is, like the first half, and then.
What is your advice to people who may be in a relationship and they might think it might be toxic, but they don't know for sure?
Not want to ask me for relationship advice. I am the last person you want relationship advice from. I'm telling, like. It's also kind of funny. Some people love to give like relationship advice, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you are not the one that should be giving advice right now. And I'm telling you, I'm not the one to be giving advice right now.
Amazing.
Yeah, I don't know.
And are you and your mom good now, or
we're so good.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we're so good. I feel like
this was like leading, like there's like multiple storylines going on. Like there's the music, and there's a relationship, and then there's this like the mom one. I was like, shit, this mom one might take a turn.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Oh, I think also what made it even harder. So like relationship and mom, I was dating this girl, and like she wouldn't let me come out to my mom for how long we were dating.
Why?
Because like,
so your mom didn't know that you were gay?
She knew, but like I wouldn't admit it because like I felt like she was gonna try and do some fuck shit to change my mind or whatever.
Like sprinkle
Yeah.
whatever it's called.
Oh, yeah.
Holy water on you or something?
Dude, she's done that before.
Oh, no.
Like-
Did she ever chase you around with sage or anything?
No. She's sneaky. She would never do it to my face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just prays for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
That woman. No, okay.
Sorry to hear about that.
Love her.
So, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. That
Oh.
sounds weird as heck.
Hey, yeah, it was fucking whack.
Damn.
Yeah.
So that's right. And you meet this person before COVID or right before, like, or during COVID, or what's the deal with that?
Before COVID. Yeah.
And
for
then-
like a couple years before COVID.
Okay.
And then COVID made it worse.
But then did you guys like live together during COVID?
No.
Okay, that's a little.
Because like
good.
I was still living with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting ready to move out. Like literally right before COVID had happened.
Yeah.
Like that's, work was good and everything. And then I just have this vivid memory of me being in Costco getting like all these emails about like, because I did vintage and everything, and like that's how I made all my money. It was like doing events and stuff.
Oh,
And, like,
before? Oh, I thought that was like a thing you just got into recently.
No. I've been doing this like literally since I was like 19.
What? Okay, so
Yeah.
let's get into that a little bit then. Like, so how did you get involved with vintage stuff?
What's it called? So I like cameras.
Hmm.
I'm also like a photographer, like a visual artist. And for a hot minute, like I was just like looking for those when I was in high school. Like I was skipping class and I was going to all the Value Villages and the Goodwills because I was watching videos on YouTube about like all this like cool but like stupid dumb shit about like Japanese like cameras from like the 70s and the 80s, and like I would skip school and I would look for that shit.
Did you find any?
Yeah, I have like
wow.
it's a problem.
You have a whole collection of cameras?
Yeah.
Hell
It's
yeah.
cool. I think I like what's it called? Yeah, I find them like really fascinating. It's just so expensive now, so it's
Mhm.
like I don't really do a whole lot of the looking anymore. But
Yeah.
there's some stuff that that I like hold near and dear.
And you
to
can
my-
take pictures of all these ones? None of
Yeah.
them? Okay, cool.
Yeah, they all work. But yeah, I used to just like skip school all the time and just hit the thrift, and then eventually, what's it called? This girl that I was dating at the time was like, "Yo, like, what do you want to do for your birthday?" And I was like, "I don't know, because I don't plan things. That's just who I was,
Indecisive?
huh?
Indecisive?
Indecisive, and also just like I have a really hard time being like, I want to do this for me,
Got
like,
it.
yeah. So she was like, "Yeah, like, why don't we go to the Fremont Market?" Like, and I went, and I was like, "Oh, this is so cool!
Mm.
Like, I love old shit." And yeah, I had talked to the folks that like run it, and I just got like a booth over there, and I would just like set my stuff up like every Sunday.
Damn, you have the bus there every time?
Oh no! I had a car.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. But like my car got fucked because of it, and what's it called? Yeah, I would just pack like this little coupe that I had,
Mhm.
and I would set up shop like every Sunday, rain or shine,
Damn.
which I was fucking nuts for because the weather's been really fucking gnarly out here.
So was it like, what was when you first started your booth, did it have like a theme, or did you slowly grow into a theme, or do you have a theme now? Or?
I mean, it's just vintage.
Got
Like,
it.
everything is curated, just stuff that, stylistically that I'm drawn to, that I think other people are drawn to. Like the curation is my favorite part about it. So sometimes I'll scoop up cameras and just like make sure they're in good working condition, and have conversations with folks who want to get started like with film and things like that, or just like I just curate pieces that I would hope make people feel good, because like clothes make me feel confident.
Mhm.
Like I really enjoy just styling, and it's a huge part of my identity. So just like opening that door and just sharing it with people is what I do.
Hell
If
yeah.
that's what you asked. I don't know.
So like, and that's like your main thing you do is like vintage stuff?
Yeah.
So is that like, have you had any other job? Like, what's like your worst job you've had? Or is this like, when it was vintage, like one of your first jobs and you stuck with that?
So before vintage, I was working retail. So my first job was at Kmart.
Kmart?
Yeah, fucking nuts. Right before they had shut all of them down. And then because I'm a suburb kid, like I started working at the mall. Like if you're a suburb kid, you've worked at the mall, I feel like. And my sister worked at the mall, so I was like, I'm gonna do what my sister I don't know. Yeah. And then I think the last job before I did vintage was Urban Outfitters.
Okay. So you've always liked clothes then, it seems like.
Sort of.
Okay.
I don't know. I had like actually a, what's it called? I didn't like the shit that I wore as a kid because like I didn't know like what I liked, but now I know what I like because it's like kind of my job. I don't know. But it was just like what was there really. I think I was just like too young to work anything else before vintage, so I was like, yeah, I'll work retail because it's like I don't know if you work food or whatever. Like I just didn't feel like I was old enough, or like you had to get or certain permits or whatever.
Got it.
Yeah, I don't think it's that complicated. I think maybe I just didn't want to work food, or that I didn't want to work food where everyone in high school was working. Because like all the food spots, like I knew kids that I went to school with, and I'm like, I don't want to work with you.
Were you bullied? Were you bullied in school at all, or you just were like a loner a little bit?
I don't think so. You know how the Northwest is. It's like a little bit more insidious. So I was never like
insidious.
Well, people would
Jesus
never.
Christ.
People would never say it to my face. Like they wouldn't be like, I don't fuck with you. Like I did have. Okay, actually, backtracking. I did have a good like group of friends.
Like you played like magic cards or something.
I played sports.
Okay.
And like I had homies and stuff.
So you were like a nerd, or were you a nerd?
Huh?
Were you a nerd at all, or no?
Not really, I don't think.
Maybe your glasses just make me think you like...
Really?
I feel
no,
like glasses
I was not smart.
I
was not smart. I fucking hated science and I hated math. And I would just like sit there and I'd be like...
But you're like a stoner kid? Like, what was your vibe? Like, you weren't like a goth kid?
No, I wasn't a goth kid.
But you're like... And you're not someone who like played Harry Potter cards or something?
No. I don't know.
Did you like Ultimate Frisbee or something?
I played like basketball and like soccer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're just...
Yeah. And it's funny, like, I don't know, looking back, because, like, I feel like they all just knew. They knew I was a gay.
They knew.
They knew.
They treated you different in the locker rooms.
The basketball team to lesbian pipeline, now that I see, like, the people that, like, I went to high school with, I was like, I knew it.
I'm dead.
I knew before all of you, and I had to pay the price of knowing.
I'm dead.
So
wait, so with vintage, how do you actually like make money off it, and how do you? Because like I'm the best at finding a deal, but I can't sell shit for like the life of me.
So this is a touchy subject because like I feel like people think that vintage can kind of be grimy because there's kind of like a weird rep around resellers, because some resellers are shitty. Like, you know, some people will like sell something that's not worth like the amount that they have it like listed for, but like will just cash in on that. What's it called? Like I spend a lot of time just like digging for stuff and pay for it by the pound.
Like Goodwill bins?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
I'm not supposed to tell people that.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
We know your secret.
Yeah, and just like other things, like just some people will buy stuff for, like, you know, my homie moved not too long ago, and he was like, I have all this vintage shit, like, and I'm not taking it with me to New York. And I was like, okay, say less. Like, I'll scoop that stuff up. And sometimes people just know, so they'll give me stuff for X amount. Kind of just like what Red Light does is like, they have the price, and then like they give you like 30% of however much it's worth, and then they, you know, put it in. But yeah, like basically I'll just take like all this like old fucked up shit, one, just make sure that it works with like cameras or whatever, or like clothes, like stains, like disgusting, like nasty, like gnarly stuff, and just like cleaning it, and then just checking what the market price is, and then just making it available for sale so that people don't have to do what I do. Like it finds you. Yeah.
But do you stick to a certain thing, or would you ever find like, I don't know, a clock and be like, oh shit, I know this is an expensive clock, or like what?
Yeah, I mean, I do like a whole bunch of like other things. So the cool part about it too is like I like this shit in general. So a lot of this stuff like I'll keep, and then I'll find something and I'll just like cycle it out, you know, cycle it out of my crib or like my closet. Sorry, what was the question again?
Yeah, like what is like, okay, if you had to like put into like, not trying to box you in, but like what would you say is like the main things that like you like to curate? It's like clothing and like But you wouldn't, would you be able to tell if like a fucking Matchbox car was like
I mean, that's
rare or
not like
something? I
that's
don't
not
know.
my that's not my lane. So that's a cool thing about vintage is like everyone has their own lane.
Got it.
People do furniture, people do like stereo, like audio stuff. Some people do like audio stuff, cameras, like housewares, like vintage art or whatever. For me, like that's the cool thing about the game is like there's no like actual real handbook or whatever. It's like you just find shit that like you didn't know existed, and you're always learning new stuff, whether it's about like clothes, like housewares, like art, or like furniture or anything. So all of it really. And then the cool thing about it is there's a community, and if they're cool, they'll tell you what's up, and they'll give you some information to learn about.
What makes something like vintage though?
Like 20 years or older.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so like 2000 stuff is
So,
vintage now?
Yeah, it's vintage now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like Y2K stuff.
Y2K is actually kind of popping off right now.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I fuck with it. I just wish the quality wasn't so like. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, you had released this project. You're doing vintage stuff. COVID hits. Did you have a manager by this time, or like? But you took a break too. So when did this manager come into play and all that?
I got a manager when COVID happened.
Okay.
So the first summer, I think.
And they found you, or you found them?
They found me, and I think that's generally that's how it is.
Off one project? Wow.
Yeah. Meh.
Meh.
Meh. I don't know.
And you made the right connections, I'd say.
Yeah.
That's dope. So, like that. How long was that? Was that like? Because you were with them for a while, and then like you guys parted ways.
Yes.
But like we don't have to get into that. That's personal, whatever.
That's fine.
But so like what were the pros of being in Seattle and having a manager?
What's it called? I guess the pros is the confidence. I don't have a manager anymore, and I'm kind of just like at this age where I'm starting to realize, or like phase, or this lesson that I'm learning, that like sometimes like you have to sit with yourself and find validation within you, if that makes sense. Like you gotta be confident, and you gotta be cool with yourself, and you gotta trust what you're doing, and like just have faith in that, and believe in everything that you're doing, and just believe that it's good shit, and that like it's worth people's time, and it's worth sharing, instead of having someone else tell you what's up. And I guess I kind of miss that, is just like having someone like behind me, like to back me and be like, hey, like this stuff is something that I believe in, and like you're doing the right thing. So that was a really big pro, is just like feeling like you had somebody what's it called, behind your back. Like,
sounds like a relationship.
Someone that had your back. Yeah, I mean, people talk about how like when you break up with a manager, it's like a real breakup.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I think we would work together for a little over 2 years.
Damn.
What's it called? So that's the pro, is just like the confidence and stuff, and also just like having someone like see your worth, because it's like it's not easy as an artist. Like I don't know what my worth is. I'm like I just write songs and like I think on the stage, like all that. So it's cool when you have someone that's got your back to be like, this is what's up, this is what this artist deserves. Like, that was fucking cool. I guess like the con is kind of, or like one of the cons is a little bit of the detachment. Not all managers are able to, well, because they're a manager, be able to place themselves in the shoes of being an artist. So like when they're trying to give you like some sort of direction and push you in that direction, they don't really know where your limits are.
Right.
And sometimes for me, like, I didn't feel like heard when I was giving my limits in certain scenarios, just in terms of like, what's feasible. Nothing crazy, but like, in this day and age, like not a lot of people have stability because of the climate, like the political climate, or economical climate. Like, I don't have any sort of stability right now personally, and chances are it's like, there are a lot of opportunities that come, but then it's like, oh, you're only getting paid this much, and it's like, I would love to do that, but like, I have rent to pay, and
I can make that off this one shirt that I just flipped.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be I don't know, tight, I guess. What's it called? Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here.
Would you say that vintage imitates life?
Vintage imitates life? What do you
If
mean?
you know the worth of this vintage shirt,
Yeah.
or pants,
Yeah.
or whatever,
Yeah.
maybe you can learn to know the worth of yourself.
That could be cool, but I feel like the music industry is kind of just like fucked, man.
100%.
Yeah, like it's like one of the.
I had a breakdown recently about it. I saw some shit that really fucked with me.
Like it's like one of the industries that really like kind of just doesn't have any rules, or like, like what's like the base pay of being like an artist? Like, there's no such thing.
Yeah, there's no base pay, and I've been really struggling with this acceptance factor that exists in the music industry with certain things that like I've seen personally. I'm like, you guys are just going to accept that this person just did this right in front of everyone and no one gives a fuck, so like there's so many, like there's this weird acceptance factor, this like idolism of shit, which obviously whether it's me or you, we want people to like what we're doing and like have a fan base, but like when like certain people get away with shit because they're like celebrities or whatever, it's fucking wild. And like celebrities are not going to be telling up and coming artists that they have multiple jobs as well. Like everyone has multiple jobs in the music industry, and there's just so many things that are like have this fake veil that no one talks about.
Yeah, that's real. And I think I blame the internet for that. Kind of just like all these different platforms and stuff. Like, we're all just trying to work it because it's like it's such an important tool for us as artists. So nobody's being transparent about the kinds of things that you have to do to get by as an artist.
But I feel like it was even. Yes, there's tons of pros and cons for the internet. But like even think about, I've been using this example, like the Will Smith example. Like, people probably didn't even know if Will Smith burped before the internet. You know what I mean? Because he was just like this huge celebrity that you just saw on movie posters and made music and won awards and stuff. Like, you could just be Will Smith or just be whoever, and everyone thought you were just like this wizard or whatever. You know what I mean? And then Will Smith fucking loses his shit at the Oscars, and then people are like, oh shit, he's just another person who has going through mental shit as well. You know what I mean? So like,
so the veil's always been there, I guess.
I think it was, I don't know, you could say it was worse or better during, I don't know.
I don't know.
Things change. I don't think some things get better and some things get worse, but with the music industry, I don't know if you could really say. There's just different challenges that arise.
That's true.
So I don't want that to be like a sad thing, but I don't know. But there still is a veil, and like, I don't know. There's some weird shit like that you can even see in Seattle with how people act. It's just, it is what it is. But so you had this manager during COVID, and then after.
Yeah, for a while.
And then
August of last year.
Okay, like 2022 or 2021.
2022.
Cool.
Yeah.
So now you're here after, and you've done like cool things. Like I saw like you did whatever that one thing was. You've done like the Rain City Relief stuff. Like you've done cool things, and people like, is that what it's called? I think it's called.
Yeah. Seattle World Tour.
Yeah.
The digital like kind of.
Yeah. So like you've done things that like people are trying to do in Seattle to like make a difference, or like, you're in the name. You're like, your name comes up for events and things. Like obviously that's why I wanted you to be part of our thing, like our homegrown NAST thing even. So, but now you're here. You've had these cool experiences. You have had ups and downs. And now we're in 2023. We're almost towards summer. Like, what are your goals, and what are you trying to accomplish now? And how do you feel? How do you feel?
How I feel? Shit. Personally, like, I'm not quite satisfied with myself yet. Maybe it's because of my numbers. Like, I've been doing this for kind of a hot minute, but if you kind of I have to remind myself that like I put out my first project in 3 years last year, and I was working on like 2 records like while I was doing shows and a job and like all the crazy wacky shit and going through a breakup and moving to a brand new city and all.
It's a full-time job to like keep people interested in streaming and all that stuff.
So that's kind of been like my issue, is like trying to figure out how to play that game with streaming and like trying to get an audience. I don't really feel like I'm being taken seriously quite yet. And it's cool to get like booked for stuff and all that, but I don't feel like I'm the artist that I want to be yet.
How do you get there?
How do I get there? I think being like vulnerable and really opening up about who I am as an artist, and like, I don't know if this is the right way to say it, like sharing the narrative. I don't think that makes sense, but like
maybe you have to have a narrative. You have
like
to have
building
like
a narrative,
and you have to have a theme.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's this project.
Hell yeah.
That I've been working on for like the past 2 years, but I can't like wrap my head around it quite yet, just because like, one, I'm broke as shit. Like, I don't have any money to back this, like, at all. Fully independent. Like, I don't even have a manager anymore. Like, just solo dolo, just like making stuff. So yeah, I think for me, like, the way that I get there is just trying to be like authentic and get this project out. But I've never worked on anything this large scale, and I think that there is like a story around this whole project that I've been working on for the past couple of years. The question is just like, how am I gonna share it?
Fuck, let's figure that out.
Yeah.
Let's figure that out together,
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I like you. You're a cool person. I feel like I want to admit this because you're being open, and I don't think it's true. But I made a joke about it to Carter as well. I was super excited to work with you, and I was worried maybe I could still feel this way a little bit. But I feel like I like what you're doing, and I feel like you're genuine, and I feel like I almost see you like a deer a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Where I'm like, fuck, if I say something that offends them or whatever, I'm like, oh shit, I just missed this opportunity, because you're someone I really want to work with, and I'm excited that we're doing this. But I'm like, shit, I feel like there's not a lot of Claudines out there.
Really?
So I'm like, shit, if I need to be on my P's and Q's around you, I feel like sometimes.
No, like,
but I just wanted to be honest.
You're good. Like, I don't know. I think when I think about those situations, like, where I cut people off, it's like, it's when I have conversations with people and tell them like, hey, like, that wasn't cool, or like, you put me in a place or whatever that was not good for me. It's like, sometimes people lack transparency, and I don't get that from you.
Hell yeah.
And then like, sometimes people don't want to like swallow their pride and like admit that they were in the wrong, or just take a look at the bigger picture. Like, I'm always down to have those conversations when it comes to conflict, and be like, hey, like, this is how I feel about this going down. Like, and I'm always down to hear how the other end feels about it. But it's kind of just like a matter of like what happens after that. So it's like, I don't think I could ever like be like, oh, like one thing I'm like, nah, fuck you. Like,
I'm just saying, like, it's a compliment, and also I'm like, but yeah, you're just so cool, and I feel like I hope it's interesting to hear that you say like it's taken you a while to realize your worth in certain things.
I'm still learning.
Yeah. But like, I feel like it's gonna come with time, and I feel like you should have worth. You're a cool person.
Thank you.
But like, I feel like the more you grow, you're gonna realize like There can be people that are gonna be jealous of you for sure, because you're a cool person
Scary.
and you're genuine, and like just hopefully you're here to stay with the NAST and Carter community and whatever we're doing. Like me and Carter literally went on a it's probably Jesus Christ, it's probably like a 4 to 5 hour round trip yesterday.
Really?
We went to the Northern State Asylum. You ever been there?
I've seen pictures of it. It's the abandoned asylum.
Yeah.
Just randomly somewhere.
Yeah, it's in Cedro-Woolley. So that's somewhere I did not want to be for obvious reasons. It's so out there.
Yeah.
Like I'm like anywhere even.
What were you guys doing in Cedro-Woolley?
That's where it's at.
Okay,
it's
just
like,
for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we went in the middle of the night, which I don't know if we're.
Oh, in the middle of the night.
Yeah, it was creepy. It was hella creepy.
That. You see anything?
There was some person that was like hiding in the rafters in one of the.
Oh, it's a person.
But like they wouldn't show themselves to us, and I was creeped out.
Oh, okay.
So we left because of that. But I don't know. That creeps me out. I don't know. I don't know enough about like spooky stuff to know if any of it's real or not. So
I'm sensitive. Yeah.
So I'm like, I'd rather just get the fuck out if I feel weird about anything.
Yeah. But you can feel the energy.
Yeah.
I think that's real.
Yeah.
I'm very sensitive to energy.
Yeah.
I can tell when the vibes are off.
Yeah. So there's spooky stuff out there. I feel like. Actually, I don't want to. If you can feel energy or whatever, don't confirm to me. Maybe I want to be. I don't know. There's scary shit. I feel like. Yeah. And I'm not down for spooky stuff in the middle of the night.
Okay.
But I took a chance and we went. But basically, the bigger picture is like we were like just between walking through the spooky stuff and driving. We were together for like 5 hours, and it was just cool to just like debrief everything over the past few weeks, and like I think it's good to check in with your friends. Yes. And fuck yeah, there's still people I need to check in with. But you know what I mean? There's so many. It's like there's so much. You have to check in with your family. You gotta check in with your friends. You gotta check in with yourself. Yeah. But so with that, I'm excited to see what comes. You gotta show me this project, and like we need to figure out like you've done all this cool stuff in Seattle. It shouldn't be hard for Seattle to like want to give you more of a push. Know. So let's figure shit out together. Yeah. What is some final advice that you have for up and coming artists, creators, influencers?
I think like one of the things that like a lot of people that I look up to are just always like keep going. That's something that I've kind of really been holding on to. Cause like I'll be fucking for real. I'm so discouraged right now. Like I feel like I'm kind of at a point where I have a lot of dead ends that are kind of just like, fuck. I'm like, what we gonna do? Yeah. And it's okay to be like, to not know. What we gonna do?
Yeah, what we gonna do?
Yeah. So like just keep going and like set your boundaries with people. That's something that I've really struggled with, like as a woman in the creative industry, and just like looking like this. I mean, like I'm like, is that my face? I don't know. Like I feel like I've really struggled to set boundaries with people, even though like I'm very clear. I'm just like, I don't like being like harsh or like rugged or whatever, and people see that as like an opportunity to kind of just like take that inch and go some miles, which like I'm kind of still recovering from right now. Like just things that like I pushed myself to do that I was not like that I shouldn't have, because like it just actually not possible. Like yeah. So yeah, just like set your boundaries with people and like be confident in that and just trust that.
Hell yeah. Yeah. You've been an amazing guest, and I'm happy that we're able to like just sit down and do this. Thanks. Whether there's cameras or not, I would try to talk to you the same way, So thank you for that. This has been very enlightening for me. And yeah, where can people find your music, and where can people reach out to you?
I mean, all the DSPs. Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, everything. I'm on Instagram, just Claudine Magbag. And I'm on TikTok. Hell yeah. Your friend Claudine.
What?
Twitter, Claudine Magbag. Yeah.
This has been the NAST podcast with
Claudine Magbag.
And we did it.